Hi, I'm Martin McGrath from Financial Edge Group, and today I want to talk to you about concessional contributions. So contributions to super that are assessed as concessional contributions. So there's a bit of myths here I want to kind of clarify. So there are a few different types of concessional contributions, and they are when work puts in super on your behalf. That's called a super guarantee or an SG. That counts towards your concessional contribution cap, which in this financial year is $30,000. In previous financial years, it was $27,500, and even before that, it was $25,000. So that cap can change every couple of years. But this year it's $30,000 and will likely be for a little bit longer. Super guarantee, that counts towards that. If you start doing some salary sacrifice, that also counts towards that cap. And you can also do what's called a personal concessional contribution, and that also counts towards that cap. So it's important to make sure that when you're calculating some of this stuff, you look at all those caps together. Now, even let's take a step back. Why would someone consider doing some concessional contributions? The hint's kind of in the name, concession. You get a concession potentially when you do a concessional contribution. Because what happens is when that money goes into super, it goes in only at a 15% tax bracket. And this saves you at your personal tax bracket. Now, everyone pays a different amount of tax depending on what your income is. So your tax rate could be as low as 0 or potentially as high as 47%. But when you put money into super, it's taxed at 15%. Most people generally, if you're earning more than $40,000 or $50,000 a year, are taxed at least at 32%, and it goes up from there. So therefore, by putting money into super, you're likely at least halving your tax and potentially even further. So concessional contributions are a great strategy to help boost your super and save your tax. But it's important to plan these caps because you want to make sure that you're using as much of the cap as possible. And if you go over, potentially you get in some different territory. So concessional contributions is something that we help clients with every year. And every year we often adjust about how they make it and also how much they make each year, depending upon their salary, the cap, and what their overall cash flow position looks like. Now, one of the good things is if you go over, depending on some other circumstances, you might be able to use what are called some carry forward contributions. So about 5 or 6 years ago, the government came out with some updated legislation that was kind of trying to be a bit fair. These caps used to be use it or lose it. But now they're at the point, as long as you meet a certain circumstance, you can actually use some caps from a few years ago to protect you in this year. And a few of those items are, your super balance needs to be below $500,000 on 1 July of the year before you're about to use the cap. You can check on the HO what that looks like or speak with a financial advisor to make sure you're eligible for this. You can only use caps for up to 5 years. And we're at the point now where caps are starting to expire. People are starting to lose some unused amounts from previous years. So perhaps it's important to start to get some of this strategy stuff in place sooner rather than later. But what that might mean is you might be in a certain year where now your income's a lot higher. You might have a capital gain. You might have something that really pushes you up those tax brackets, and that 30,000 cap's not enough. Particularly if work's really putting in 10 for you, you've only got 20,000 left to use. You might want to use more. But if you're eligible to use some of these carry forwards, you can then go and use some of those limits from the years before. You might have 3 years of 20,000 unused, and therefore your cap this year could be substantially higher. Carry forwards are really important to use. We use them for a lot of our strategy. There's certain ways we would use them. Maybe we don't use them all in 1 year. It's important maybe to spread them out. It's important also to remember when you use concessional contributions, it brings your tax bracket or your tax rate down. There's points where you don't want to go below a certain threshold. If you're only earning 5 or 10,000, you're not paying any tax. So keep that in your own name at 0%. It's better than 15% in super. You can see there's some stuff we can definitely consider. It's important to plan for this. Hopefully this video has helped you. If you want to have a chat about this further, reach out to financialedgegroup.com.au and have a chat with one of our advisors.